I know I mentioned to some people who at my work that I'm going to Bali and I'm going to be helping out over there. They were like, oh, you mean you're just going to a resort? And I'm like, actually, there's a side to Bali that most people don't see, and that's something which you see on a missions trip, and you walk away better for it.
At the end of October and the start of November, a group of 7 women went over to Bali to serve and to minister in the local community as well as in the prison.
It was absolute girl power. I loved watching all the women just really jump in and try and get involved as much as they could. It was absolutely awesome to see the women just really step in and, in my opinion, grow a notch.
Bali 2017 was an amazing trip in that we had no idea when we booked and planned for this that we would be dealing with a major crisis like Mount Agung. And to be able to go there and in the light now of what has since happened, to be able to give them supplies and generators.
So we went into those villages I think they were about 7 kilometres away from the volcano.
We brought some hygiene packs, we brought some food items and lollies and things for the children. We hung out with the children and played some games and just saw a lot of joy on their faces from the time that we spent with them. Some of our team were able to provide some medical support, so they were going around and doing a bit of triage.
There's tents pitched in safe zones where people who live on the actual volcano have been told to leave for their own safety. Something which I found hard and I processed for I think a couple of days was I found it hard seeing needs which in Australia I knew what they needed.
You know, simply if I'm not feeling well, I can go to the doctor. If there is something wrong and I need to check, I just simply go and get an X-ray.
And in a lot of cases it was so basic. A couple of blood tests, maybe some antibiotics or an X-ray, things that in Australia is so readily available.
But for Indonesians, that is an absolute luxury, and many of them can't afford to just go to the doctors.
Along with the medical team, we were able to pray for people. There were Buddhists, there were Christians, it didn't matter what you were. When people were sick, they wanted a solution, whether it be with a tablet or when we offered prayer.
Pretty much the whole time we were running on Bali time, which is very different to over here. We're used to being prepared, so it was just a lot of wake up in the morning and just be prepared and open to do whatever needs to be done and jump in wherever we needed to jump in.
We did some things with the church on the weekend. So the Friday night we had the youth service, which I spoke at, and a couple of our team played some worship songs for.
I was impacted by seeing God touch the women at the healing conference that Judy led, seeing people just touched and crying, and physical healings and salvations across a gathering of women who weren't necessarily Christian.
There were over 100 people that attended this event. The enthusiasm on the faces of these women, they were hungry to hear the word. They took in, it's like they were sitting on the edge of their seats, taking everything in that we had to offer. People were healed, issues were cut off people walked away free.
Visiting the prison was very different to what I was expecting. The relationship that Pastor Chrissy has with the Calapas in the prison at the moment is just beyond amazing. They trusted her team to come in with whatever supplies that we needed to help with the girls in the prison, which blew me away to see that. It's just completely different to what I thought entering a prison would be like.
Now there's incredible favour because we've been going in there for so many years with the Calapas, who's the governor, particularly of the women's bloc.
Even though she can really put on the governor face, she really cares for them, which is just so great to see.
At present, the W block is actually shattered. It's completely on the ground. They're rebuilding. 200 women currently are all sharing one room with 4 toilets. And this has been a necessity rather than move them to other prisons so that the new area can be built. Just the impact of those women, 200 women being in one room, 24 hours a day, unless they're called out for a visit or for a special activity like what we did, that just was really hard to comprehend.
Having the opportunity to teach health and health promotion inside Kurabakan prison was very unique and nerve-wracking at first because I understood in theory from my training, but the outworking of a cross-cultural health promotion session was something I'd never done before.
So the exciting, of course, the buzz around the prison in Bali is the fact that now we want to provide people with credentials in cooking and catering and not in crime, so that when they do leave, they will actually be employable. And someone from our congregation actually spoke to the Jamie Oliver group, and he is giving us his kitchen, his fully commercial kitchen out of his restaurant in Perth, and we're going to be putting that in Bali, and we're going to organise a coffee machine so that they can learn how to make coffee and therefore be gainfully employed when they leave.
I think going into this mission trip, I had never been on a mission trip before. I had very little idea of what to expect, and I think I expected to go over there and serve the people and touch the people and leave them changed and them transformed a little bit, and their life a little different to what it was prior to us going over there. But instead, I think what came back was me changed.
I would say a mission trip is an amazing opportunity for anyone. It really opens your eyes up to the needs in the wider community and the world.
If you're considering going on a trip to Bali, let me highly encourage you. Let us know what your skills are so that we can try and match the trip to your skill level.
Even if you can't physically go over there, being able to give in some sort of form of money or prayer will make a massive change and